When did you know you wanted to be a producer slash creative director?
When did I know? I didn't know. I still don't know. When you are producing, you are kind of responsible for everybody's well-being as well.
Having gone to school in the US and having worked on and off in France over the span, you said roughly 3 years, 2 to 3 years, and then working in Taiwan, what would you say are the main advantages of film production in Taiwan compared to the other places that you've lived and worked?
I'm working on a project right now that is now asking me to kind of go everywhere to see Taiwan, and you'll be so amazed by the kind of landscape and the kind of people, the kind of diversity that we have here. So you can pretty much find almost everything in this tiny island, right? Like, I wouldn't say tiny, but it's big enough to have everything. You have all kind of geological landscape, and you have people from different culture living, sharing this space. So when you work here, you do have a lot of resources, more resources than you would imagine. We have everything, and it's also in not a very spread out space. So everything is really reachable within a day or two. It's like a small treasure box.
Right, that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Even though Taiwan is small, even in Taipei, if you want to go to the ocean, you want to go to nature, you want to be like an urban area, it's so quick to just
30
transition.
to an hour, and then you can just you can change sceneries just like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely save time, and also people here, they work very diligently.
You have very specific work experience outside of Taiwan. So how many years did you work in France in the film industry compared to the years in Taiwan?
I never really lived in France, but I just brought project over, so like on and off. Every 3 months I go there, come back. So she was actually staying with my friends for a whole lot of time. And I would say in total, it was like over a span of almost 3 years.
3 years.
I was there maybe for in total maybe a year or two for the whole duration. I was there. And it was really fun. It was a very different vibe. People have different way to work professionally.
Definitely.
And also to meetings were actually a lot more efficient over there.
Oh, interesting.
When you work internationally, you have to handle people from different culture, and they have different way to communicate. And I think that's the key. You need to kind of navigate and kind of understand what is comfortable for everyone. It sounds very simple, but it's actually a huge part.
Right.
You need to kind of try to manage their expectation, and also at the same time try to get the best result for them.
Yeah.
Communication is really key, and being able to communicate with them directly. For example, I'm able to speak French and I'm able to speak English, then I felt like this opens up a lot more understanding, not just opportunity, but I am able to understand their culture, where they are coming from. Overall, a lot easier. Because when you work with people, especially on creative projects, in a way, it's I think it's more intimate, like in terms of communication than any other industry. So you have to actually find a way to like the project and have passion for the project and understand what these people want.
When did you know you wanted to be a producer slash creative director?
When did I know? I didn't know. I still don't know.
You still don't know?
It just kind of happened that, I started to work on these jobs, and then I also do production management. You kind of try participate in different ways, and then all of a sudden, like you are producing something, and it's kind of how life kind of. I guess this is really a really natural progression in this industry. Kind of, I'm very interested in content. I'm very interested in communicating with people. So I didn't know. I still don't know. But I'm doing it. So
interestingly, my goal is to become a DP. Like I want to operate the camera, but depending on the project, based on the budget, sometimes sometimes I have to direct too. Sometimes
Right.
I have to be even a producer. Like I have to hire like for this project I'm working on now, I have to hire a colorist. I have to communicate with them. Like in the past, I've hired Ken, like a sound guy, makeup. So I feel like I've produced. Like, I mean, I've dabbled in it. Like, obviously, I don't call myself a producer, but from my experience, like, I think communication is huge. Like, yeah, definitely, like being somewhat sociable so that you can communicate. That's something that I try to work on. I definitely feel more introverted, and I like to kind of like focus on the technical stuff. But I know filmmaking as a whole is way more than that. Like,
You also need to like spreadsheets.
like spreadsheets. Yeah,
So-
true.
Yeah,
Like
I'm also
spreadsheets.
into spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets.
Oh, so that's definitely like, okay, that's
Yeah.
another one of your strengths as a producer. But I think another thing that's kind of cool is the community building, like through communicating, like when you're reaching out to crew and you're trying to find, everyone's schedule works together. And then at the end of the day, like when I was a producer, I would be paying them too. So I almost feel like kind of motherly in a way where I'm like, wow, we can work on cool projects together, but then I also can feel like it's like full circle where it's like, okay, like here's your money, like thank you for working together. I'm curious what your experience is as a producer. What are some things about producing that you've learned along the way, or maybe some things that kind of draw you towards the role that for you is rewarding and can like fuel your passion for film?
For me, what matters the most to me in this world is stories. Like the story, like people's story. I'm so in love with hearing people talk about where they've been, how things became, and I'm curious. I want to know. Knowing that every person has a story that's worth telling, it's really, really, really important. And that's why I think being a producer is cool, because you get to talk to all these people to find out how to tell their story and how to do their story justice in your production. So like that really matters to me, for me, and knowing that people actually get to hear these wonderful stories from someone that's really just next to you. It's so rewarding for me. And of course, working with crews and like taking care of them. When you are producing, you are kind of responsible for everybody's well-being as well. Aside from the financial, like you pay them. When you are in a production, you have to take care of them, and you can. It's really important that you can bring all of them together, to kind of like make them also fall in love with the story. Because when people are in love with the story, you can see that, in the picture, in the sound, whatever. Like if it matters enough, I think it will show. So all in all, it is about doing stories justice. Yeah.
For international productions who want to come to Taiwan and they want to hire a badass producer, what's the best way for them to contact you, to reach you?
To contact me, just email me.
Email you? Okay, you prefer email.
Yeah, I love emails. Email's great. You can
Okay.
track them. Emails is really good. It's not only for people my generation. I know people younger, they don't really use it the same way anymore. They use it like a chat room.
Yeah.
The way they write emails, oh my goodness. Don't get me started. Yeah. But I think overall, my biggest message is please know your worth.
You know your worth.
Yeah, everyone. We should know our worth, and we should know. There's a very unhealthy culture sometimes, when you see how a production team function. Some people are considered as more important, right, in this creative process. But I think that should change, because every role is so important.
Right.
And I think people need to know that their job is vital to the well-being of a production, and you need to know your worth.
Great statement. Great closing statement.
Fortune cookie.
Fortune cookie. Nice. Maybe I'll call that. Maybe that should be the title. Like, know your worth.
Know your worth. Please, because that's really our problem. It's so sad. Like every time because sometimes we have to shoot outside too, right? Like for a documentary we work out, and we have to interviews in the United States or in Europe. And we have to hire crew locally, and you just look at the way people raise themselves and the way they work, the way production was structured. When we are outside, we have to accept that. But why don't we accept that also here for people who are working in the industry? Right? I think that's something that we need to work on for the quality of the work.
The quality of work. Yeah.